Okay, there we are. So, welcome to this preview, pre-everything YouTube channel. Just set up my studio. There is light and microphone and camera, and here am I in some old sofa, and don't have the slightest idea right now what to talk about, but that is quite okay, because here I simply decided to talk about whatever I feel like talking about at the moment. So this is what I feel like talking about at this very moment. And well, that's kind of a nice thing with making YouTube channel. Nobody cares anyway. So let's just have fun and go with it. So what's happening today? Let's see what's happening today. We have this splendid Facebook here, and you know what, I will do like this. I take my computer, which is a Mac, and it has QuickTime, and on QuickTime you can record your screen, which I'm doing right now. And the first thing that I find here is, well, it's a text that I shared or whatever, yeah, on Facebook, and it's a trailer for a new movie by James Cameron, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan. Big guys. And it's really about big guys. Maybe big girls too, because they only posted a trailer here so far. But here we see some big and very famous guys. And they can do things, they lift things, and they exercise, and they have big muscles, and they are, you know, wow, look at that guy. Look at him. And, well, nice, huh? Well, the thing is, of course, they are not ordinary big guys. They are all vegetarians. They eat plant-based food, all of them. And I especially like the one here in the end, where this guy says, the one who turned that big tractor wheel upside down, that, you know, people say, how can you become as strong as an ox without eating meat? And then he says, did you ever see a meat eating... Oh, sorry. Did you ever see an ox eating meat? I like that one. So this is going to be an interesting film, I guess. And then I got a little comment here from an old friend of mine, saying, true that. And he's also a strong guy, so he could, you know, he woke up there. But of course, we are now approaching what is called old age. And here am I doing the same, you know, I decided to become a YouTuber at a mature age, and basically after getting the permission of my children, my boys who are 14, and who said that there is a YouTuber who's even older than I am, so I thought, what the heck, you know, why not me? And challenged a couple of other friends of mine and see, you know, who can get the most subscriptions. Anyway, so of course we got a little discussion going here. Some racist slur, what are German bodybuilders against Finnish motocross drivers, because this man is one of those. So of course I will be crucified by the PK, political correctness organization here, but I don't care, because this is my channel and I say whatever I want here, you know, and you don't need to look at it. So Finnish cross drivers are definitely superior, or tough guys really. But that is a completely different story. Now, I have this little book, Bhagavad Gita as it is. And yesterday I sat down to actually try to make this this video that I'm making now, and I thought it was just great, everything worked perfectly, but then I forgot to turn on the microphone. So, you know, maybe you had that similar experience, and then I realized actually when I looked at it that I looked, you know, everything looked terrible, so fine. But what I did then was that I had an interesting experience yesterday. I was taking a nap, and you know, normally when I take a nap or when I'm about to fall asleep, I think of Krishna and I chant Hare Krishna, you know, the Maha Mantra for myself, and it's very nice actually just to go inward and be there with Krishna. And then I got this kind of feeling there that, yeah, Krishna is taking care of me. Because I've been thinking lately back on the years that passed, you know, the last 10, 15 years, or actually last 40 years, I could say. And I realized that, you know, from the moment when Krishna, for those of you who don't know, Krishna is the name of God in this Bhagavad Gita, and it's a nice name because Krishna means the all-attractive one, so we're not talking about fearing God here, but rather loving God. And that Krishna has been taking care of me all my life. And sometimes things, you know, it sounds like one of those, what do you call it, those born-again Christian confessions or so, but really, I could tell story after story about how when I look back at my entire life, I was, you know, in situations that were really weird, sometimes seemingly hopeless. And then something happened like that. Because you know, I don't have any other shelter than Krishna. So then I was lying there, just, you know, sometimes when you're about to just float into sleep like that, the thoughts start to go a little bit on their own. And then I got this, you know, Krishna is taking care of me. Just trust Krishna. You can now just let go, relax, and trust Krishna. He will take care of me. And I don't have to worry or fear anymore. And the funny thing is that as soon as I thought that, some weird fear came up. And I realized that, you know, after all these years where I've been speaking these kind of words many times, giving lectures and so on, there's still this little, you know, thing there that's out there in the heart that, will Krishna really take care of me? You know, if I just go like, yeah, Krishna take care of me, then no. It's an emotional thing. It's very deep. But then I kind of, verses from the Bhagavad Gita started coming up, you know, I was kind of preaching to myself that actually the thought that I just had, that Krishna takes care of me and always protects me, is for real. It's not imaginary, because, you know, we go here to the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam saranam vraja. It's one of my favorite verses in the Bhagavad Gita. But Krishna actually just says this, you know, I'll take care of you, you know, don't worry. He even says, you know, give up everything. Give up all your ideas about, you know, nice, fancy, material piety even. It's a kind of radical verse there in a way. And just surrender unto me. I'll take care of you. And there is another one not so far from that one, saying Manmanabha, the one I have here, always think of me, become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me, and you will come to me without fail. And I promise this. I promise you. So Krishna promises, and I better just, that was actually the verse before that one. Next one there is the one I started with. Abandon, all this, even Dharma. Sometimes people speak about Dharma. If you saw the Lost film, which was really lost in the end, there was this Dharma project or whatever it was called. But Dharma really means, that you do things very pious and moralic and ethical and all that. So it's just, not that you should give up that, but even beyond that is this, to just simply, yes, Krishna, you take care of me, just depend on Krishna. And then again it says, I will deliver you from all, sinful reactions, even do not fear. And that was exactly what I was kind of dealing with there. So, this is, I don't want to be long here, but this is where I want to start this, because I thought my blog really, not vlog or YouTube channel or whatever, I'm not really exactly sure what I will make. But I thought at this, as a side note, so to speak, I'll just make sometimes, little videos like this one. Maybe I will just throw it in there somewhere in Vaishnavas in Sweden or something, and if anyone cares to look and listen, you're welcome. Otherwise, it's just, at least this one is just a test, basically. So, but I really think it would be nice if, we have all this here at our fingertips, as I say, this incredibly powerful network where we can just, you can put your iPhone and record what I'm doing here and just put it there for potentially billions of people to look at. And just in case anyone is listening still, looking still at this, I'll just tell you a little story. When I joined ISKCON, Hare Krishna movement, back in '78, we were on Sankirtan out there distributing books, and Yogendra Prabhu, he was my Sankirtan leader, and we were driving around in this old Ford van. Later on, some other van, but and in the morning we were giving, he was giving lecture while we were driving, and basically eating breakfast at the same time, more or less, to get out there to our distribution place in time. And then one day he said, I think I just have this feeling that maybe all these roads, we were driving on that road far up north, I think it was, to some little remote town there. These roads, I think Lord Chaitanya made these roads. And these vans that we're driving, and I think they all came about by the mercy and arrangement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just so that this Sankirtan movement can spread to every town and village all in the world. And all these people who did all this hard work to make these things, dig the road and build the cars, they thought they did it for their own, enjoyment, but actually they did it inspired for this purpose. And I thought, oh yeah, actually I still often think about that statement he made, and I like it. And then I say the same thing now, actually, that, maybe, I know some they don't agree with me on that, and I'm a little bit curious as to why. Maybe, Lord Chaitanya thought, well, these roads with the cars and the big heavy boxes and carrying and expensive hotels and this and that and gasoline, I'll make a much smarter road, the, information superhighway. So, you know, to let these devotees reach into not only every town and village, but directly into the mind and heart of every living being on this planet, every human being on this planet. So, and actually it is more or less a fact that what I'm doing here in this little room down in the basement of Brahmakund, it can, you know, in principle, potentially be seen by, I would say, at least 3 billion people, maybe 4 now. There was a few years ago I checked, last time I checked. So I think, you know, there are now a couple of devotees. One is coming from Alvik here to this little studio, and he's going to do the same thing as I do. And we have Prishni up there in the north, maybe taking up the challenge too. And we already have Labangalatika, she's out there doing her Bhagavad Gita classes, and we have Uffe, Bhakta Uffe. And he is actually leading so far. He got like thousands of subscribers so far. I can't understand, and I'm envious like anything. So I'm going to show you. You know, this is, we used to compete about book distribution scores, but maybe, you know, for us old timers who can't be out there on the street anymore, that's what we can do now. We do, you know, the main thing is do what you can. And what you are inclined to for the service of the Sankirtan movement. And just in case anyone is still looking, I just want to end this with another little thing there here that from the Vaishnavas in Sweden side, maybe most of you have read it. We had a discussion about Tulsi, who is running for president in the United States of America. And then Aristaya Prabhu, we got into a little discussion. Where he mentioned that, you know, the old Sankirtan leaders from those days, I mentioned Yogendra Prabhu, but actually I started off in Smita Krishna Swami's Sankirtan party in '78. And then later in that party also Arista Prabhu was, and very steady. I remember he really contributed with steadiness, you know, to that party. And both of them actually then later became pujaris. So we were talking about how this, you know, and he mentioned how Smita Krishna Swami especially, and he didn't want to mention himself out of humility, but was doing even puja, you know, the archanam in the temple with the same spirit of Sankirtan. And then Chiranjeev Prabhu was also my Sankirtan leader back then. He commented that, yeah, this is probably quite unique. In the old times you would find a Sankirtan, you know, leader going and becoming a pujari, and they kind of did it with the same understanding and spirit. So I think this is very nice, you know, with just whatever you do, you can do it with that spirit that actually we're not just here to, as I kind of mentioned in a little pointed way there, pardon me, ring the bells and eat the prasadam, which actually Prabhupada was writing something like that to his spiritual masters, with Vyasa Puja, kind of urging, I guess, himself and his god brothers that, you know, we have to take up this mission here of Sankirtan. But doesn't mean that, you know, you have to be out there all day long with a heavy book bag, but to have that spirit and to try to some or other, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever position you're in, young or old, good or bad, you know, whatever, try to figure out how to some or other help to spread this message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is a spirit I'm kind of doing this in, or trying, and we'll continue. Maybe there will be more videos, I don't know. If anybody likes this and if anybody is still looking, just maybe you can drop a little note. Maybe you can say Gauranga or something, you know, just so I know. That would be quite interesting to see, because sometimes we don't have time really to, you know, look at things, long things like this. Therefore I'm on purpose making it a little long, just to see how far, you know, you kind of follow here, because it's such a new and foreign still, even to me, media here. So yeah, that's basically it, and thank you very much for watching this so far, and see you later. All glories to Shri Guru Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada, and all the other devotees, and Hare Krishna.